Hey everyone, good evening. Tonight we're going to talk about 3 custom devil fruits in my ongoing devil fruit ideas series. Typically, these come with a D&D power set attached to them at the end of the devil fruit explanation, so if you're here for that, just hang tight towards the end of each devil fruit section. So we have 3 devil fruits today. Little menu for you right now. First things first, it's going to be the Pluck fruit. Originally named the hare fruit as a pun with like hare and then the rabbit hare. Now devil fruits don't really do that in One Piece. I even checked to make sure that there's not like a special devil fruit that did that. So the reason why I'm switching it is because the user who submitted it, Purple Slushy, he wanted a devil fruit that allows you to pluck your hair out and it takes the form of a construct, specifically a rabbit. And I really like that. I was informed a long time ago in my life about a superhero, you could say, a character in Eastern mythology, Wukong, right? Journey to the West. I got my hands on it in college. I'm 32, by the way, so that was like 15 years ago. So I got my hands on that book. I read all his powers and all that, and I fell in love with that. Immediately, I made the Dragon Ball Z connection and all that good stuff. When I was much younger, I played tons of League of Legends. Wukong main, okay? Say what you will, he's nasty. But in Black Myth Wukong, the video game, one thing I noticed that many people talked about was the pluck of many and not really knowing how to use it. Now, the pluck of many literally is what it sounds like. Wukong rips out one of his hairs and flings it, and it takes the form of a clone. This will be the entire basis of the devil fruit. Now, the reason why I'm making it the Pluck fruit is because I have figured out a way to make it have a more broad power scope and a little bit more friendly to the user without making yourself go bald. So obviously the first power you have is the basic pluck. You pluck it and it turns into the form you want because this is your devil fruit. And I don't think that being limited to just making clones of yourself is necessarily in the spirit of One Piece, right? So the first pluck, you pluck out one of your hairs, flick it into the ground the minute it touches the ground, and that's the caveat, it has to touch the ground. It can float in the air and make contact with something else, but I feel like the point of this devil fruit and a marquee weakness of it would be plucking it out and it just getting caught in the wind and nothing happens to it. So this has to make contact with a physical item. Honestly, you could just pluck it and let it fall directly into your hand and throw it out that way. You can make any construct you want. It doesn't just have to be a rabbit or a hare, but I do like that. By the way, I've also made a hare devil fruit. It's in the playlist. It has Sindel from Mortal Kombat as the picture. Anyways, so the marquee power, obviously, not just plucking hairs off of you, but if you are able to pluck the hair off of someone else, you are now able to use a little bit of extra ammo for yourself. So plucking hair off yourself is one way to do it. That gives you a construct that you are in complete control of. Now, if you pluck someone else's hair, you can use it to form the construct, of course, but I don't think that it would grant you necessary control over that construct. That construct might go around, it may listen to you, but like in a D&D setting, I feel like the DM should have you roll for control of that construct. It might be Constitution, it might be Intelligence, it just depends on what your primary stat is, especially if you're a caster, right? So moving forward from there, you will have a more intricate power set. You know how like devil fruits just kind of like start to like bend the rules after a while, especially of the paramecia variety, which this one is. I would say that being able to pluck an animal's hair and use that is only going to grant you the construct of the animal, but it's going to make a very, very strong construct of that animal. Again, your willpower included, not just in the sense of hockey, but your willpower included will be how well you control the animal. You can totally pluck the hair off a giant ape like Hihimaru and Wano, but be warned, right? Making a 30-foot tall ape might not be in your best interest if you are not good at fighting. Going from there, having the ability to awaken this devil fruit will then unlock quote-unquote hairs on the surface of items that only you can see. When you pluck a stone's hair, right, and you let that hit the ground, fall in your palm, or however you choose to start the activation, maybe you slap the hair. It's a good one. Maybe you slap the hair and activate it. you make a stone construct of whatever that is. And this would be your major awakening focus. Now, a lot of devil fruits, they have this wide variety of powers. If you look at Law's devil fruit, it gives the notion that you have access to all this and that of powers. But Law's devil fruit is just very broken, right? Look at Kid's devil fruit. He really is simply just using magnetism in a very creative way. Whereas Law has the access of the toolkit of an entire operating room. For you, the user of the Pluck fruit, your main goal, obviously, is to have hairs on you ready to go. But I feel like forced plucking might be like a gear 4 type power of yours, not necessarily an awakening and not necessarily like an intended power of your devil fruit, because every person who has a devil fruit is going to have a different type of expression of using it. Not every person who has Luffy's devil fruit is going to fight the way Luffy fights, and that's just a fact of personality, right? So if you are someone who is not necessarily a dominant person, not necessarily used for fighting, this can be a very, very useful utility devil fruit, right? You pluck out one of your hairs, make it whatever little construct you want it. Maybe you just simply make it a hand and you send that hand off to do little chores around your house, help your neighbor, something like that. Not all devil fruits need to simply be combat-based devil fruits, right? It's not necessary in any sense for most devil fruits to be combat-based, but in One Piece, when you're on the Grand Line and you're fighting another pirate crew, you typically will see them used simply for combat purposes, and that's fine. The main power focus of the Pluck fruit, I want to say it's based in utility, right? For a hockey preference in this devil fruit, that's going to be rough, because again, I feel like this is one of those devil fruits where it can sway either way. If you have good observation hockey and you've plucked a couple hairs out, and, you know, you have your constructs set out and about, you can use them for observation hockey, right? You can like have them connected to you because it's your hairs, and you can like look around, make sure who's around you in a certain radius, and the radius only extends further the further your constructs go out. And you know, I don't really think that there should be like a limit on how far the constructs can go. Once you've plucked them, I feel like they maintain a life of their own, and simply plucking too much hair, obviously, you know, you're gonna make a bald spot. But also, again, the stamina weakness of a paramecia user, which is never really brought up in the show. I have a video coming on that soon. The stamina weakness of a paramecia user will be very apparent in this devil fruit. The more you pluck, the more tired you will be. But when you start having the other abilities, or you start using the devil fruit a little bit more wisely, right? Let's say you're fighting someone, beating the crap out of them, and you do a pluck on them. This could be great because they don't know how the devil fruit works. They don't know that they might be able to control that construct which you plugged off their hair because they are in the middle of fighting you, right? But in that same breath, you might not want to do it to someone who is known to have hockey, because that means they have good willpower and they might just overpower you. And then again, your awakening, being able to have the invisible hairs come off of something. Look, there's an invisible hair on this wood. Bam. Now I've made a wood construct. See, that is in and of itself to me incredibly broken. I don't know if there's any other type of awakening you can think of. You know, as always, if you have one, drop it below. But for me, that is probably one of the best features of it, is simply the awakening being so versatile. Being able to pluck the hair off any substance and make that substance like metal, you know, iron. Get your friggin' rock devil. For me, like the rock one really sounds fun, especially in One Piece. You're gonna find rocks everywhere, right? Especially in a D&D setting, you're gonna be finding rocks left and right. Plucking those off of rock and making little golem constructs everywhere, very fun. I might have to use this devil fruit in a campaign. You hear me, Purple Slushy? Really good stuff. I really enjoyed this devil fruit. I'm going a little fast here, but that's just because I'm trying to condense these 3 devil fruits into one video at 1 in the morning without waking up my family. So the next devil fruit we're doing is the swarm fruit, or the hive fruit. I'll get a little bit more explanation going. Submitted by Grand Outlets. I believe that is your name, correct? And if I got it wrong, I'm sorry. So this devil fruit allows you to swarm control bugs, or control bug swarm, sorry. But I haven't really decided where I lean yet, where it's going to be either a pheromone human or a hive human, because not all bugs live in a hive. They definitely have a nest and somewhere they congregate, but the hive I feel like is exclusive terminology for bees. But hear me out. Your body is not just like a pheromone secretion system. I feel like that would be like maybe in your neck, maybe in your hair. Maybe you grow certain antennas depending on what bug you're trying to control the pheromones of. But I was thinking, to make it easier, my interpretation of your fruit is you have some sort of gland under your neck, or you have these antennas, and the combination of both of them secreting the pheromone, it's universal. You can freely pick and choose which bug, so long as you know about that bug's existence. And then you can't even forget to use, one piece bugs, the giant ones, the crazy ones you might see in the movie Strong World or in Heracles's Island, right? Those are crazy as hell. And those are totally valid in a D&D campaign, right? So for this devil fruit, I feel like your main marquee is understanding the control of the pheromones, and then your body shifting into the form, like the type of storage unit proper for said bug. Maybe it's a universal hive. Maybe it's something like one of those custom hive boxes. I haven't decided yet, because, devil fruits are so amorphous and they have that weird capability of doing like many things at once. There's a non-canon fruit where a dude's stomach is a straight up furnace and he's able to just pull out weapons and stuff, So there's not really like a precedent on a lot of certain devil fruits, especially again in the paramecia variety, which this category falls into. This is probably one of the few paramecias I can think of in the whole series, if not the only one in my devil fruit series, that is submitted by a user one, and you are able to control animals, right? That's pretty crazy. There was the Warship Island devil fruit. Apis has the ability to talk to animals. And then every Zoan user, I assume, just has that ability, unless it's unique to Chopper because he is an animal prior to being a human fruit user, right? But as a swarming fruit human, or a pheromone human with the swarm or hive fruit, however you want to call it, let me know down below what you think the best combination of usernames for that is. For me, I think it's a pheromone human with the hive fruit. That's just me. It does make it sound like it's bee exclusive, but oh well. Well, pheromones can be used for a number of things for insects, not just marking territory, not just gathering the swarm and sending out messages, but as the user, you'll be able to send them out for brutal attack patterns. Go ahead, my minions, Then you got to take into consideration there's a whole devil fruit list that we've only seen 2 of in the insect class, right? In Dressrosa, the Tontatas, they have a beetle devil fruit and they have a wasp devil fruit. And then you have to think of the marine with the spider devil fruit and Black Maria, because those spider arachnids, they use pheromones as well. So you'll not only have access to a ridiculous amount of insects at your disposal, granted they're available on the island you're on, which I assume every island at least has ants, right? Ants can be very useful, especially in large numbers. So the main focus of that devil fruit, and I guess your hockey preference too, would be observation. Your ability to figure out quickly on the island you're on what animals are there, where they are, and how many there are. You will start needing to know that very quick. You secrete a couple pheromones out, let them go out into the wilderness, you wait for that return. It's not exactly too powerful at the start, but once you start gathering that swarm, gathering that hive, and you start creating that free, like imagine if you have a bunch of magic locusts or something. I assume that exists somewhere in One Piece, right? Or that karate praying mantis thing from Strong World. I think it's Strong World. Some type of crazy bug like that, especially in the One Piece setting, it's a wrap. And this is one of those devil fruits, kind of like Sugar's devil fruit, where I feel like this is the main / only power application of it, because it's really how well you are like able to put those pheromones in the air. And obviously a windy day will really help your ass out, right? But an awakening would start to change things for this user, because I would assume you would be able to either A, make like some sort of hive beacon that contains the pheromone you want, right? You can make that nest custom made for that insect and have it located to you. Pop it into the ground, smack something with your hand, turn it into that. It's really up to you, because that's, between you and your DM, especially if you're using it for a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. But if you're just looking for straight up devil fruit ideas, maybe you're writing a book, maybe it would be best to just have it, like Kinnamon's devil fruit. Take a rock, wham, put it on your head, say boom or whatever he does, and look at that. Now you have the hive located maybe just for Hercules beetles or just for honeybees, right? These, I can't think of anything more useful than pairing observation hockey with the pheromones and having those insects swarm an island, and you get like in like 2 seconds a whole layout of everyone on the island. You might even be able to make a deeper connection further with the insects and see through their eyes. I can't really explain how, but I feel like it makes sense for the devil fruit, right? Like insect vision or something like that. To me, I feel like it belongs with the power set. If you don't think so, let me know down below. But I personally think that that's a pretty cool application for it. And like in Awakening, having all these different hives so you don't have to continuously regulate one type of bug in your body, your hive body, you know, you'll be able to make like insect bombs essentially. Like let's say you're getting ready to ambush someone, or you're just trying to save an island. You know, Nolan's flashback, those trees poisoned and whatnot, you could easily get bugs immune to that, right? And send them off and destroy that tree before it infects the rest of the island. Then you wouldn't have to take the blame like Nolan did, right? It's just a little anecdote right there. But this is a great devil fruit. I genuinely didn't really have a lot of difficulty thinking about powers for it because the main power is so strong and so just in your face whammy that it really just speaks for itself. Great idea, Grand Outlets. Now, for the third devil fruit, a paramecia type human, the fertilizer fruit. You're a garden human. You're able to take any plot of land, any surface, any type of, you know, square plot, or any type of place you could feasibly grow on. You instantly change it to the soil, perfect and ready for your gardening needs. I was wondering if it would maybe operate like a Law style devil fruit too. Let me know down below if you like that. Where maybe, you know, you could summon like a shovel or those claw guarding gloves, you know, summon a bag of fertilizer. I'm not too sure. Personally, the way I always thought about it, if you do it on your body, you would be more like a Logia, I feel like. And, you know, that just makes you the woods fruit user, because there's no way that guy can't just make a garden if he wanted to, right? Ryokyugu or whatever, Ryokyugu. That's more his alley, right? And I want this to be a paramecia type because it's my favorite type of devil fruit. But this type of devil fruit, once you touch the ground or, you know, the surface you want to turn into a garden, you have that soil come in right the way you want it to be. It's perfect for whatever garden you want to set up, whatever type you want to grow. Then, you know, you instantly can grow those fruits and veggies. It's just one of those things where this devil fruit, I can't really see it being used for combat whatsoever. Moreover, I don't really see it being used with hockey like at all. That's just one that I was thinking of, like, what's a devil fruit where you wouldn't really need a hockey preference unless you're just going really in depth with the powers, and I figured it would be this one. I guess in One Piece there are unique fruits and vegetables maybe to each island. On Sky Island we saw those like hard pumpkin things that Gonfall liked the juice of, but you like can't bite the shell. You know, I guess you could grow one really fast and throw the pumpkin, but you know, someone like a CP9 member or a CP0 member or anyone with the 6 powers will just fuck you up immediately. So this is more of like, you are the god of nature, right? Like the way that people describe the supposed god of the forest coming up. I don't think you could use this devil fruit, like this devil fruit to grow devil fruits. That's a little too busted, right? So let's not go that far. But just being able to create an infinite amount of fruits and veggies at your disposal, very powerful stuff. You could save any island from starvation. The second you step foot in Wano, everybody's having a good time with you around, right? The energy consumption is going to be the issue of this devil fruit. How long can you maintain a garden, right? How long before it starts to drain you to the point where you look like a victim of Ryokyugu, right? Green Bull hitting you with the vines and you're like, ugh. So I was thinking a really good way to express this devil fruit is when you change the area you want into the loam appropriate for your garden. Your hands have the ability to turn into like little roots like his, and they go into the ground and they can like spread whatever seeds they want. Maybe it comes from your body, maybe you have to carry the seeds with you. I haven't decided that. I like leaving it up for a little bit of you know, audience interpretation, a little audience interaction, you know? So what do you think about that? me personally, I think that it would just make sense that you're also able to like yeet seeds at your leisure. Maybe that's what you summon, just like pumpkin seeds, and just foom, just start throwing them left and right. Because like, what's a generator paramecia anyways? Like, you're a guy that shoots infinite wax, infinite candy. Why couldn't you just create infinite seeds of the ones you know of, right? Obviously, gardening knowledge is going to carry you very hard. Sorry if you hear coughing in the background. My kids are sick. Gardening knowledge is going to take you very far with this devil fruit, just like Law's devil fruit. All the doctor knowledge in the world will go far with his devil fruit, but if you don't know anything, there's not really much you can do with his devil fruit. But with this one, again, the infinite possibilities of One Piece unique fruits and vegetables, and just the real world application of making any fruit and vegetable. Maybe you can also make grains and stuff like that. Just any type of edible plant and that you can grow, essentially. And I think that is just a little cool type of devil fruit, one of those things that you find on an island with that guy or that woman on it, and that's their power. You learn to appreciate things, right? It would just make you like, okay, we got to protect this person. Obviously, they'd be public enemy number one, because the world government is horrible, and they wouldn't just let you have that power, right? They definitely want to regulate it, and you'd be in a room somewhere just sad and booping vegetables all day, but only the ones that they want you to have, and they'd probably just be ruining everyone's life with it somehow. But let's say you find Luffy, right? Instantly, he's your best friend, and I'm sure for a fact, whatever problem your island has is liberated in 2.2 seconds flat when he finds out what your power is. Now, like, it'd be like if he ran into Stroyson and Stroyson was a good person. I really don't think Luffy would care if the food he created cooked bad, as long as there's just an infinite amount of food coming, right? So this one, I would say, as long as your garden is active, you are losing energy. Not necessarily like, I'm dying because I grew 2 apples. But I would say, as hours and days go on, eventually you'll have to just boop the garden and shut it down. You need to rest. You'll need to replenish your nutrients because you are the garden person. You're a fertilizer human that, changes the ground to that necessary fertilizer. Your hands immediately with the roots, they go inside, they create those nutrients and that nice atmosphere for those plants. Then maybe your other hand shoots at, like, becomes like a seed shooter or something like that. And again, I really don't see what Haki would do with this devil fruit other than protect you. So whatever Haki preference you have, learn both if you need to for your D&D campaign. But DMs, beware of this devil fruit because it will probably ruin your hardcore campaign. If you're doing like a Rogue Trader style One Piece campaign, or you're doing a hardcore campaign at least where they have to eat, sleep, and drink, this could potentially throw a wrench in your plans, especially if you've stopped your druid from using Goodberry, you've stopped your mage from summoning those vital nutrients. This one might actually fuck you up as a DM, because how would you worry about their hunger any longer, right? You would have to force the garden user into a situation where they can no longer maintain that garden, I guess. But anyways, those have been my 3 devil fruits. A little bit different system this time, a little bit format. I may have missed a format option or 2 that I put up in my community tab a long time ago. That is simply because it is 1 a.m. and it's been a long day. But let me know how you like these 3 devil fruits. Personally, Purple Slushy and Grand Outlets, these are good ideas. I really enjoyed them. And the garden fruit, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was hungry and I wanted a salad when I thought of this devil fruit. And what we know about devil fruits, Vegapunk said they're people's desire, so who knows? Maybe someone would do that in One Piece. Anyways, Merch Hunter Ricky, have a good night, everybody. Thank you for watching. Very much appreciate it. Drop any comments down below. On Saturdays, I will put a post for you guys to put your devil fruit ideas on. It's really hard to find the video that has the appropriate devil fruit listed on it, so don't put your devil fruit ideas in this video because I won't look at them. So put them in the comment section devil fruit post that will have NL like, ah! Okay? Appreciate that.